Hello, I am Endlessness and welcome back to Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis, and in this video I'd like to take a closer look at the new Skull Tifa banner. Tifa has an outfit with physical and magic ward ability that increases both physical and magic defense by 15%, and then earring ability, which is Arcanum, but this new 1.5 year Arcanum with 30% wind ability damage and 20% physical ability damage when in max stance. And it is very solid outfit in my opinion, because increased defenses are always helpful, especially in harder content, and this new Arcanum seems very powerful with 50% damage increase overall. Then Tifa's new weapon at OB10 120 has 674 physical attack, 46 physical attack and 39 wind potency ability, so those are very standard ability points. Also, Exeter boost slot, perfectly fitting for this month's escalation since this Tifa banner is perfect for it. And then the command ability deals 1060% physical wind damage to a single enemy, and when Tifa is above 50% HP, it also increases physical attack for allies with mid potency, but max potency is high, and the potency per cast and max potency gets upgraded as you OB6 this weapon. So 1060% damage is very high, the highest base damage C ability after the 1.5 anniversary banners, but it's not really better, but comparable with 940% weapons that have additional 1.2 modifier. However, Tifa increasing physical attack with each cast is also very good. And Tifa already had a wind weapon Motor Drive, which was a very solid launch weapon, especially with her Exploit Weakness glove, but this new banner weapon is definitely a lot stronger. And we also have a new ultimate weapon for Glenn that will be featured on all banners in May, and it has rather balanced stats, boost physical defense ability, and a new one, defense boost, which makes Glenn start the battle with high potency physical and magic defense buff. And also those buffs last for 60 seconds, so that is honestly very nice. However, it's just a self buff on Glenn and not on all allies. And then the command ability deals 2000% combined damage to a single enemy, but also applies provoke and increases physical and magic resistance with 50% potency, and applies regen on Glenn, and you can also use it 3 times. So to be honest, it seems very similar to Bard's ultimate weapon, but Bard increases resistances for the whole team, and Glenn has only self buff, but provoke is interesting. But since now Glenn is a tank, it definitely looks like a good ultimate weapon for a tank. However, I still hardly can see Glenn as a tank, since he doesn't have a single good tank ability or a weapon. Glenn's best weapon is still his War DPS axe, and he doesn't have any good supportive weapons fitting for a tank. However, with this ultimate weapon, he could be working as a DPS and just activate the ults when Glenn is about to get hit, so you don't really have to sacrifice the DPS for defenses. And that could work, but the tank class doesn't get any nodes or boosts that increases damage in any way, so Glenn is already suffering here anyway. I don't know. Since Glenn got classified as a tank, I see him in a very weird and awkward spots, and I'm not sure what they are trying to do with him. But I know one thing, you will 100% get some content that will require this ult on him as usual. So, it is a good banner. Any Tifa banner is always not only good but the best, since it's obvious Tifa gets special treatment, and devs even admitted it during that livestream we had last week. But not only that, with this school event, the banners and stamp cards are different, and for the very first time we have many guaranteed weapon copies, so that OB10 is guaranteed by the end of page 2, and in my opinion, it is incredible because it is guaranteed progress, meaning that no one will get scammed or screwed over, and it guarantees a good pulling experience for every player. Sure, some people will get lucky as usual and they will max out the weapon earlier, but now every player is guaranteed to max it out as well. And all school banners are limited, so same as crossover banners, but I love what they have done here. And I would love to see every limited banner to have such stamp card, because it would make those limited weapons more accessible, and more good banner experience equals happier players, and happier players are more eager to spend not just the big spenders, but also smaller spenders, and even free-to-play players could perhaps want to spend because they could get OB6 or even pull 2 pages to max out the weapon. However, on the live stream they said that those stamp cards are for this school event only. It is unfortunate, but if they won't remain for every future limited banner, I'm hoping at least to see some changes and improvements at the very least. So yeah, Tifa is the best DPS in the game, and any banner she gets is a god tier banner, so it's always worth to pull on Tifa. But pull at least 4B6 or actually 2B10, because it's just 2 pages and you have a very good big PP wind weapon. Glenn's ultimate will definitely have some content that will cater to it, and I can see those school banners being very successful and loved by the player base because it's guaranteed progress, and they are also a lot more accessible. However, while I can see limit break banners with those all allies abilities being worthy of being limited, I think most of those limit crossover banners could be just featured banners. They often have the same C and R abilities as normal weapons, and most of them aren't anything really better or above, especially DPS weapons, and I think they are just glorified featured banners made limits for FOMO and to get people to spend more. However, at least with this format they are very accessible. And yeah, I'm skipping it since I don't have anything for Tifa, but if you're pulling, good luck, and in the meantime, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next one.